to have the community oversight piece in place. I was not recommending that we wait until the federal courts act before we could actually start the process of making the changes we know we need to make. But again, my concern is that if let's just say that they're saying 50% of the changes have already been made, if there's no community engagement process that's double checking that data, then the public will have no confidence that we've made the strides that we say we want to make.
So getting the oversight officer in place
is key. It's absolutely key.
And
if I may, thank you. Mayor Hales and Commissioner Fritz. I absolutely agree with those comments, and I think among our concerns that I didn't mention before during the pendency of the settlement agreement before council was this issue of whether there's an independent monitor with the authority of the court to take the issue back to the court if we're not seeing that the appropriate implementation is happening through the city and the Bureau. And so as we wait for the pendency of the agreement in the court, we are still lacking that accountability. And so I think it's a great step here to see a little more formalized accountability through the community and the citizen oversight process. But certainly, and I'm not advocating for not moving forward, but as we move forward with the very long list of things mandated by the settlement agreement, when we don't see those things happening, there isn't any mechanism to ensure that they do. And so that's why ultimately we do need the approval of the court to at least give us a little bit of that. But I absolutely think we should be moving forward.
Reverend Knudsen, do you have a...
I would agree with what was just said by both those before me. I think we have to have the oversight in place in order to really see the results. And there's a number of things outside the agreement, I think, that we will continue to work with the city and the police department, diversification of the police force, for sure, where people live, things like that. So there's a lot of things before us, and this is a key step, but I think the oversight really is crucial.
Mr. Handelman?
Well, you know, the collaborative agreement sets forth a process to change the terms of the DOJ agreement itself, which gives me and my organization hope that we can do things like put the COCL, the COAB, and other things in place without the court approving it. So certainly those are among some things that we hope will happen without the court's approval.
Thank you. And Mayor, if I may explain for folks at home and others who haven't been party to these negotiations a little bit more about the reference in the ordinance on the Council Coordinating Committee. With my colleagues on the Council and the Auditor, we recognize that all 6 elected officials on the in Portland are responsible for both oversight and implementation and improvement of this system. And so I've been coordinating with the participation of every one of the Council offices and the Auditor's office, a committee that's been meeting to look at what should be, and how we move forward in a very open and transparent manner. So the next step that I see, having heard your comments to the question that I just posed, is that I will be bringing to Council in a couple of weeks a proposal to do a different way of hiring the community oversight liaison officer than the city would normally use. Normally we would put out a request for proposals to say what it is you're going to do. The settlement will say what it is that this person is going to do in oversight. So what we'll probably do is put out a request for resumes, which will give it a selection advisory committee, which we'll be putting together with community organizations, insight into how to do the 30-day public review process, how to select the 3 candidates who'll be out for the council to choose one of those candidates. And so every step of the way we're going to be doing this, bringing things to council one at a time so that everybody can comment, so that we know what's going on, both people who are paying attention, which I really appreciate the 4 of you, the amount of time that you've put into this, as have all of your colleagues and my colleagues on the council as well, but so that everybody in the general public knows this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, and this, because to me, that's how we're going to improve trust. And Representative Frederick talked about reducing fear, both the fear of the community and the fear of the police. That's, to me, a step along the greater goal, which is we need to be able to trust our police need to be able to trust the community, that we are working together collaboratively. So thank you very much for the work that you've been doing.
Thank you. Any other questions? Dan, please.
Well, I don't know if it's a question, maybe it's a question.